I would want to say we had a good time yesterday with the Bedford Church, but the crowd was down. Of course, with regard to sickness and so forth, the end of the year, it was difficult, evidently, with both churches to get a lot of folks there, and they too had sickness and problems. I did do my best to try to change the date earlier or even later than what we're doing, but we're running into some snags both ways, but we are going to try to work on that to get the most amount of people up there as possible. But to those that were there, we did appreciate it. And of course, those that were not there, I called up there and ordered extra. And I had to end up eating it because I ordered it. So it was a real problem for me. It posed a real difficulty. Okay, be that as it may, I'm just teasing. We did have a good time. We wish that more folks could have been there from both churches. We'll work on it for next year to get the maximum amount of people there that's possible. Now, many of you are not here several years ago when I did a study on Christmas images and incantations. There we touched on some of the various things that are said at this time of year. And I brought to your mind the fact that most of these things are under the classification of an incantation. Christmas basically is a pagan holiday, not a Christian holiday. It is paganism mixed with Catholicism. It is a Christ Mass. And they are happy at the birth of Jesus Christ because it's there that they get his flesh to eat. And whenever they say an incantation, the priest in Latin gives an incantation, he changes the bread and the wine into the body and the blood. That is an incantation. So Catholics feel have no conscience in the matter of having other types of incantations, whether at Christmas or at New Year's. Now, there is a problem with that, and a problem that we are going to have the psalmist address for us in chapter 10 of Psalms, verse number 3. And this will be the foundation of our study, but there are a whole lot of other verses where it says, "For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire, and blesses the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth." Now, what does that mean? It simply means that you have one unsaved, evil person that is blessing other unsaved, evil persons, giving them their support, wishing them well, hoping they're going to be all right, hoping that their time is going to be prosperous on this earth, apart from God. The wicked are blessing the covetous. Now, throughout the course of the year, but especially at this time, we come up with all sorts of things that have become now social courtesies, most of which are trite and trivial. They're just said mechanically at this point. But many times Christians enter into what the world is wishing for themselves at Christmas and throughout the new year. And it's my contention that we can't do that. It's my contention that we have to be very careful what we say when we wish an unbeliever well. Well, you say, well, my friends and family, they're not wicked. Oh, yes, they are. If they are Christ rejectors, they're wicked to the core. Now, you might love them and appreciate them as in a limited sense, and you must have it in that limited sense. If you love them more than God, they are your God and they are your idol, and you're bowing down to them rather than God. You cannot do that. And if they are Christ rejectors and light rejectors in the state of reversionism, you can't say, well, God bless you. How can God bless them when he is sending them the very means to bless them, and they are rejecting it with all of their might? You cannot, and you should not, wish well someone who's in a state and condition of sin and who hates your Savior and your God. Now, that's how serious it can get. And that's why when somebody wishes me well, I always, first of all, I'm taken back to return it. Or how am I going to return this well wish? And in a lot of cases, you don't have time there to say, well, let's open our Bibles. And this is an incantation. You don't have that kind of time because you just see them for a few minutes and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And what can you do but say, well, basically the same to you and that sort of thing. But you have to be careful. Yes, on one hand, it is our human desire to see the best for people in life. Absolutely. Because we care about people and we're concerned about them, we're not wishing them directly any harm. However, the minute you start bringing God into the picture, Christ into the picture, Merry Christmas, God bless you in this new year, that's a horse of a different color. You're now taking God, you put him in a little bottle, you see, and he's in your closet because you don't need him and they don't need him. But all of a sudden, you get real religious and sentimental at Christmas time and New Year's. So you bring him out of the closet and you rub the bottle and poof, there he is. And you say, oh, God, hey, I need blessing. It's that time of year and I want to bless my friends. So I'm going to tell them that you're going to bless them. They hate you. They despise you. They don't support the grace message. They hate, they're enemies of the cross of Christ. But I'm going to just tell them, God bless you. And you're going to do it. Oh, yeah? Yeah, I'm going to righteously bless somebody that hates me, that persecutes believers, and rejects the preaching of the gospel for people to be saved. I'm going to bless them. That is nonsense. But what happens is, we enter into this in a very ignorant fashion, not realizing that what we're doing is actually producing an incantation. Merry Christmas, even Happy Holidays. We'll see that in just a little bit. There is an elusiveness commodity out there known as happiness. And people want happiness, but they don't want truth. And we're going to see that happiness does not produce truth, but truth produces happiness. And the reason that we wish everybody happiness is actually an evil wish. How can you get happiness apart from truth? And when we desire it for them in that fashion and in that sense, we are bypassing the plan and program of God to bring them true happiness, hoping that they're successful in bringing happiness to themselves apart from God because they're evil. Now, what is an incantation? An incantation is anything that is spoken, a phrase, a verse, a spell, a well wish, a prayer, a blessing, an enchantment, a social salutation. Now, let me give you an example of an incantation that is a blessing. In this time of year, we always see the Pope, and we also saw Mother Teresa. And the Pope and Mother Teresa always, that they've got a crowd of people, and up go their hands, and they're doing this. You see, Catholics teach that virtue comes out of them and flows through the people, and they are blessed by these powerful religious figures that have an in with God, that if they just honor them, pay homage to them, venerate them, that God will send virtue through them and blessing to the people. And that's why they do this. They're all doing this, so make sure everybody's covered. Oh, yeah, you're over there. I'll get you a good one way back there in the corner, and they're blessing everybody. And they're all chanting, again, Latin incantations or Latin prayers. All it is an incantation. These people are unsaved, blinded to the truth, but they think they're going to produce something good for these people, and God is in it. That's nonsense. But anyway, whether you are a religious person or a secular person, you believe that these particular phrases, Merry Christmas, is somehow going to be magical. After all, he puts his finger aside his nose, up the chimney he goes. He's magical. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. He sees you. He knows you. Be good for goodness sake. It's a magical time. So that if you just say these words with Merry Christmas, something magical is going to happen. May all your dreams come true. May you get everything you want for Christmas. Merry Christmas. But don't have God in it. Don't honor his son in it, but may you get everything else that you want. That is status quo evil. That's the strategy of evil, to get the best of this life, to get all. See, they bless the covetous. And there's no time that in the course of the year that covetousness is seen in a global scale in mass so much as at Christmas time. It's all, God, I want this, I want that, I want the other. And so you go to incantations. Merry Christmas is, may you get all you want for Christmas. May they materialize for you. May life be great for you at Christmas. That's what Merry Christmas means. That's what it's come to mean. Or supernatural powers. Was at a funeral here of late, and as we were passing the casket, exiting, the pastor there was saying, "God bless you. God bless you." And he grabbed the next hand, "God bless you." Now, he could have, there were people passing that way. They could have been in rank sin, Christ rejectors. They could belong to churches that do not believe in the gospel and so forth. What is this man doing? He is asking God to bless wicked people. Now, how can that be? It cannot be. It is an incantation, nothing more than that. It is an act of ignorance in trying to get God to supernaturally manipulate history for these people simply because one man, just like the Pope, calls down God's blessings upon people. The fact of the matter is that all things work together for good to them that what? Love God, and to them who are called according to his purpose. I cannot and you cannot be a puppeteer with God on the string, telling God to bless anybody who is unsaved, out of fellowship, in reversionism, or so forth. It must, your prayers or your incantations, your well wishes must be centered around the truth. Other than that, you are nothing more than a magician. You're nothing more than a sorcerer. You're nothing more than a witch asking the fate and fortune to shine upon this person. All right. Now, they believe that these words have special powers to bring about certain effects, to benefit either oneself or another. So there we are. And may I wish you all a very happy new year at this study. I'm sure you say, I know, sometimes I can feel it. Well, this guy's taken away my Easter and he's taken away my Christmas. Now he's taken away my happy new year. Well, I'm not going to apologize for it, because you're learning something right now that probably 99.9% of Christendom does not understand. You cannot just pray and say, oh, God, bless this person. It must be an intelligent prayer. What is the condition of this person? What is their spiritual state at the moment? And so therefore your prayer must be based somewhat on intelligence of the condition of that one. Now, what does an incantation do in the minds of all of us who give them? First of all, to create that which is requested. You see, only God technically can create history or the future for you. But because people do not believe in the one and true and only God, they have, as Adam and Eve in the garden, placed themselves as gods. Or they worship the god of this world, or his cronies, the demons. So therefore, or simply the force be with you, this impersonal force out there. But what does the force be with you mean? That's another incantation. May the force work everything out on your behalf, strengthen you and enable you, bring all the resources to bear so that you're victorious, you're prosperous in whatever you do. That's what it is. It is an incantation. But it is no worse than Merry Christmas. It is no worse than Happy New Year. Why? Because the force is not God. You are not God. And that's what they think. These people who are saying Merry Christmas to the whole world of unbelievers are going right back to the garden conditions. And we'll see that in just a little bit. Where Adam and Eve, after the fall, said to one another, well, God bless you. And Eve would say, God bless you. Could that ever be true? Not after the fall, it could not. Before the fall, they could go around all day saying, well, God bless you, and God bless you, and God bless you, and God bless you. Happy New Year, and Merry Christmas to you. Well, Christmas hadn't happened yet, but Christmas came after the fall. But the point that I'm making is, once they fell, how in the world could they bless one another of God? How can you do that? How could Adam say, well, Eve, you just took of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. You just ate of the tree which God said no. But God bless you. May everything work out well in your behalf. That is nonsense. God cursed her, and God cursed the environment because of their sin. You can't reverse that by simply calling down the blessing of God on somebody in that condition. So they want to manipulate present and future conditions in your favor. They want to be a creator. That's what an incantation is. To cast a spell so that things come to bear in your life that make you successful in whatever you desire. That's what an incantation is. An incantation controls. Lady luck be a lady tonight. You know, that's fate. That's giving a personification to fate or the force or what have you. Circumstances or people. Now, here is a person who at Christmas time is dying for somebody else to recognize them or what have you. So they go and pronounce this incantation, and they're blessing one another through Merry Christmas so that a person can be controlled, or circumstances might be controlled, or history might be controlled in their favor. That's what an incantation is. That's what Happy New Year is, actually. Happy New Year. Now, here is an unbeliever who plans to use his next 365 days in a reversionistic evil. And yet we, at the beginning of their year, wish them well. Are we wishing them success in their evil? What nonsense. Oh, be good in your evil. Be the best evil person you can be. That's what we're asking. Oh, yes, you're wicked, but we wish you a lot of success in it. Oh, yeah, we know you're opposed to God and Christians. May you be victorious over everything those nasty little critters the Christians are going to do in telling you about Christ. You be victorious in opposing the truth. That's crazy, but that's what we do. Thirdly, they believe through various incantations going to bring happiness, well, to cure either physical ailments or mental ailments. Why do so many people take their lives from Thanksgiving through the first of the year? Because of depression. Why are they depressed? Because they have no hope. Why don't they have any hope? Because they're without God in the world. That's why. Because they refuse the only true source of happiness there is, and that is the Son of God and His mind applied to their lives. But if everybody is well-wishing one another, hey, it's going to be okay. Happy New Year. You don't need to be depressed. That's positive thinking. You just keep thinking the good thoughts, and history will be controlled for you so that you need not be depressed. It'll be okay. It will not be okay. There's only one way it will be okay. God controls history around those who believe in His Son and honor Him by applying His Word. All right? And then the fourth thing an incantation does is change something from one form to another. Have you ever heard of the handsome prince changed to a frog? How did they do that? An incantation. Have you ever heard of the ugly frog being turned back into a handsome prince? How did they do that? An incantation, or with a kiss from a beautiful woman. But then again, you need an incantation for the beautiful woman to do that, perhaps to kiss the ugly frog. All right. But what are they saying? That's one form. But what are they saying with regard to your life, circumstances, and future? An incantation changes it from bad luck to good luck. That's an incantation. Happy New Year. Oh, this year hasn't been so good. Happy New Year. This year's going to be better. Who says? Can you control it? That's what an incantation is. It is an attempt to change the form of things and make them better for you or for another person in your well-wishing. And that, of course, is doing nothing but to bless the covetous. Now, that does not mean that we do not desire good things for people. God desires that all men be saved and come to the knowledge of the truth. There's true blessing. There's lasting blessing. And there's a true gift for you. You realize that and we should do that. It's fine. We should give honor to whom honor is due. Those that we love and care about, exchange gifts. I'm not saying not do that. But think about everything that you gave, whatever the cost. And some of you are going to wish you could give an incantation when the bill comes due on your credit cards this coming January. Anyway, once liver, now fish. Once liver, now fish. Dear God. See, that's an incantation. Anyway, where was I? We're talking about changing things. I had a point, but I guess I changed my mind. Oh, I know. I wanted you to think about things that you gave. Now, all of us enjoy them and appreciate them. But do you know something? Everything that we have given to another person, moth and rust doth corrupt, thieves break through and steal. Naked came I into this world, naked I'm checking out of this world. What does that mean? It means that everything that all of us have given to one another is something that we cannot eternally possess. Can't do it. As nice as it was, as expensive as it was, as sincere as we were in the exchange of gifts, it doesn't matter. Those things are not true gifts. If they were, we'd hold on to them forever. What is a true gift? What do we wish for people, or should we? Number one, here's what God wishes. He wants all men to be saved and come to the complete knowledge of the truth. He wants them to trust his Son and to saturate their spirit with his mind. Now, I don't know how we're going to formulate this into a well-wisher or explain it. We just don't have the time to, I wish the best for you. And evidently it's a clandestine or cryptic message of I wish you were saved or wish you'd come to the knowledge of the truth. I don't know. I know that it is a problem because it is a social courtesy at this point. But we have to watch. Because in wishing another person the best apart from God, we sin and we are rooting for evil to succeed. And you cannot do that. Okay. Well, my time is getting away from me. I get to talking on these things, but we do need a little clarification about them. Let's go. We're here in Psalms chapter 10, verse 3. Let's go to the original language. And the second thing we need to understand is the problem involved. Both the blessor and the blessee have to meet certain requirements. In other words, just because some unsaved person says to you, God bless you, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, does that cut any slack with your life? It does not. If you're in the will of God, they're not going to add anything to it, and they're not going to take away from it either, though they'll try. And we'll see that in just a little bit. But, so the person who is wicked, the one giving the blessing, they can't do it, though they're going to try. The one receiving the blessing, same thing. But the desire and the reception of these mutual incantations is evil in itself, and that is my contention. It is one evil person cooperating with another evil person in collective support against God and the truth. They don't like God, they don't like Christ, but they wish one another well. Where did that all come from? Evil. And the word wicked here is rasha, the wicked, the wrong, in other words. We have an exclamation when we say something facetious and then we go, wrong, wrong. That's what that is right there. God says, rasha, wrong. You're not going to get anything from me. You've got another thing coming. You're wrong. Your thinking is wrong. Your philosophy is wrong. Your strategy is wrong. Your well-wishing is wrong. because you're wishing somebody well in their evil, and you cannot do that. And that's what I'm trying to prevent from all of us, being wrong, being a wicked one. We need to get with God's system. Now, what does this wicked person do? On the one hand, he boasts of his heart's desire. Turn with me to Proverbs 17. Proverbs 17. I didn't mean 17. I meant 27. What is a wicked person doing, boasting of his heart's desire? Well, when everybody, they're all sloshed, singing old lang syne, and real sentimental fashion, and it's, the ball falls at off the Empire State Building in New York City, and the clock strikes 12, and we're all sloshed, and Happy New Year, everyone. What are they doing? They are, in effect, asking the fates, or God, or whoever, to give someone a new year. They're boasting that by the time, at the end of the year, everything's going to be okay. They're saying that I'm going to have all the days of the next year. I'm going to be here at the next time we celebrate a new year. I'm going to last through this year. They're making a boast of his heart's desire. I desire to live in my evil apart from God for the whole new year. Verse number 1. Boast not yourself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. Can you imagine a person who the scripture says does not have the ability to keep their soul in their body, boasting that they are going to beat God at his system and live for another 365 days? That is what that is. He says, I'm going to live, and I'm going to do it apart from God, and for 365 days I'm going to shake my fist under the nose of God and say, God, I'm alive, and you can't do anything about it. What an arrogant wish. Turn to the book of James. The book of James. And chapter 4. Verse number 13. He expounds upon this statement. Go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city. Continue there, note this, a year. Buy and sell and get gain. Happy New Year. That's what they're all saying. We're going to live 1 year in this city, and we're going to make a mint there. Every single day, we're going to honor the God of gold. Whereas, you know not what shall be on the morrow. How can you boast about something you don't have? Well, it's an incantation. It is the attempt to manipulate either God or the fates or whatever so that they will work things out for you. That's all it is. That's why the Psychic Friends Hotline is a billion-dollar industry, because they want these psychics to have the spirits to work things out. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do that, this or that. There is the true well-wish for a person. In the will of God, I may be here to celebrate another New Year's. If not, I know for me as a Christian, absent from the body is present with the Lord. I'll see you when you get there, you say. But not for an unbeliever. They want to live apart from God. They want to be here next New Year's Eve. But it's a figment of their imagination. They're trying to put their head in the sand and hiding themselves from the fact that death is real and they're going to die and their family and friends are going to die unprepared for eternity. But they wish one another well. Hey, Happy New Year. But now ye rejoice in your boastings. Note what he says. All such rejoicing is evil. You are not going to live your life apart from God and get away with it for long. You cannot say with all certainty that you're going to be here next year. Why do I point this out? It's because wicked people think that if they just simply say it, that that's what's going to happen. And it is nothing more than an outward declaration or a boast in the PL perfect, which means they intentionally and completely make this outward boast to others. I'm going to be here. And Happy New Year is one of those particular type of boasts that they are assured that in another 365 days, another year, they're going to stand before that same crowd and say, we got gain for 1 year and we didn't need God.